Good morning, world. It's 7:44 a.m. on the 28th of April 2022. I am making my video now because I'm feeling very happy and proud because I've been up for 45 minutes already. Thank you, Grant, for calling me. Lifesaver. Yes, so I have so much to do today, and like I said yesterday, my days have become very busy overnight, almost it feels, which is fantastic because I've always been able to get up and do stuff when I've got stuff to go straight into. And yes, I have my uni work to go straight into, but I'm fairly certain any student will tell you that's not the same. Like, even someone like myself who loves everything about what I'm learning, and you'd hope that I do given the fact that I'm paying as I go. So you can imagine the amount I'm saving to be able to do that. But yeah, like I said last night, I have 2 new tutoring clients, which is awesome. They're both in the same unit and they're both working on the same assignment, which is interesting. You can just see the contrast in students real easily when you do tutoring. But my psychologist will be super happy because she's been bugging me about becoming a tutor for years, funnily enough, and I just never felt confident enough. And you know, speaking of confidence, it's something that's been playing on my mind quite a bit this last week or so. Because I know that there are multiple versions of myself. There are multiple versions of all of us, let's face it. The whole, we're different people when we're at home, to work, to family, to friends, all the different masks we wear and things like that. Now, I'm probably one of the most upfront, straight to the point people you'll meet. Like, I'm constantly the one asking the questions that everyone's thinking. And I'm okay to do that because I spent too many years of my life just feeling afraid and worthless and stupid and all the other stuff that just inner critics can do to us. So I am feeling like my confidence is back because Confident Liv kicks ass. Honestly, she does. Doesn't let anything faze her. And I speak about it in the third person. Obviously it's me, but we all have different parts to ourselves. I think hopefully you just can get what I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't know, I'm feeling good, I'm up, everything's going well. My psychiatrist called me last night, which is fantastic. I seriously have the best mental health support team, but my entire medical team in general is fantastic. I'll say hello, buddy. Hey, buddy. But yeah, so I'd called the office yesterday and I was like, look, I'm currently prescribed Ritalin. I'm taking 3 a day, as soon as I get up, around lunchtime and around about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But then I crash and I run to ask if I could increase my dosage to 4 tablets. And old Liv would have just done it and then just mentioned it at the next meeting. But the next meeting I have with him isn't until June. And current Liv is doing everything by the book. So before I increase anything, which obviously I could do because you all would have seen if you follow my website, my massive fucking container full of meats, yeah? Which, by the way, I did a video yesterday saying I'd spent $173.60, I think it was, on medication, and it wasn't until I got home and checked that I realised that the most important medication wasn't there because the script had been sent through to me on my phone and I totally forgot. So I now have to go back to the chemist this morning and get 3 more medications the really important one, since I'm not vaping weed, and yes, it's in my house, and no, I haven't had any, and I'm feeling ecstatically proud, regardless of how ridiculous that might sound. But yeah, so I definitely need my pain meds. Again, they've increased the dosage. So I've been taking Tarjan, right, because my pain levels are at the point where only opiate-based medication helps. And when I say helps, it doesn't remove the pain. I'm always in pain. It just helps minimize it. So they started me on like 10 milligrams, 20, 30. I'm now getting prescribed 40 milligrams. It is called Tarjan. You're welcome to Google it if you want. It's literally, as I've said, OxyContin combined with laxatives, so your insides don't get all screwed up. Mine are already screwed up, so I really need all the help I can get. But yeah, so because I usually get 10, 20, and 30, my pharmacy was like, why don't you just ask your doctor for the higher amount? And I'm like, yeah, that's all well and good, but the reason I'm doing it this way is because my pain levels fluctuate, yeah? And I don't want to take 30 milligrams of Oxy if I don't need to, yeah? But it's never less than 20 that I take, let's face it. So, excuse me, my doctor has given me the 40 milligram script and the 20 milligram script, which is awesome, plus more Valium, which is fantastic. I've been taking so many pictures on my laptop that the little freaking thing that I had stuck on it that's like, use Valium if needed, I've decided to stick on the actual table of my computer table, not my computer, because of the amount of pictures I take, especially when it comes to like work and uni stuff. And I can only imagine what people think when they see that sign, but I don't care. I constantly forget that I've got Valium. And it's a really nice reminder when I'm freaking the fuck out. Although I do have to say, now that I've started tutoring, and I'm new to it, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm new to it. It's making me even, I don't know, like I'm fucking happy. I'm like so happy. I'm happy to be tutoring on like my favorite unit, ironically enough. The one unit that I absolutely could not believe that I missed the one freaking point to get into HD. So I got 79 on this particular unit. I don't know about other students, but I seriously think when you're 1 point away to the next level, it's almost more depressing than saying being 5 away. But, you know, it all adds up. And I was talking to one of my workmates yesterday, and he's actually in honours for psych at the same uni I'm at. And we were talking about, you know, following on, you know, masters and this and that and everything else. And he's got the same dream I do. And we were discussing it, and he mentioned something that I hadn't thought of, because obviously I think I've explained to everyone, because I'm a New Zealander, because I don't get loans in this country. Home loans I do, that's a different thing, but I don't get like student loans, HECS loans, student help, any of that stuff. I don't have the option of doing the grad debt. So when it comes to going further in your degrees for psych, you've got your undergrad and you've got your 4th year honours or graduate diploma, right? So your 4th year honours is based the same as the original undergrad. I luckily do not have to pay international fees. I still get to pay the domestic Commonwealth rate fees, but each unit continuously increases in price every year, and the last unit I did, well, the last few units I did were $850 each, and then that's like all the student fees and bullshit on top. Thankfully, now that I am halfway through getting this vax, and my next one's Monday, I think, depending on, so 28, so yeah, it must be Monday. I'm getting my second one, which means, hallelujah, I can go back onto campus. I'm so freaking happy about that. But Yeah, so I'm doing this for the students, which is awesome. It's helping me feel better for my degree myself. To swing back to the point I was going to make about my colleague, he said something to me yesterday that I hadn't thought of, but would be a really good backup plan. So because I can't do the grad dip, and the reason I can't do grad dip is because it's approximately $27,000 or $28,000 for the year, in comparison to honours, which is roughly $7,500 I can manage. 27 on the other hand, not so much. But because of the job I've just received or applied for, and the universe just delivered to me, let's face it, okay, because manifestation is real. Where you're vibing at is where you're living at, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I think my life very clearly proves to me over and over and over again every single day it's working. Skeptics obviously don't believe. My family are skeptics. I'm pretty sure they all think I'm mad. That's okay. I'm quite okay with that. I'm actually quite okay with what any of you think about me anymore, because my life is my life, and like I said, I am a very confident, capable, smart woman. I don't know why I lost myself there for a while. I would say all the bullshit I've been through has definitely got shit to do with it, obviously. But in general, I'm just feeling really good. Like, I mean, it'd be weird if I didn't. But the point I'm still trying to get to, and I will get there, is that heaven forbid I don't get the grades. And I really, really, really hope I do. Especially since it turns out uni has changed everything a lot, because this particular unit I'm helping these students, like I'm tutoring students with, they have it so easy. So when I did the unit in 2018, what the fuck, I mean, I've been at uni forever, haven't I? When I did the unit, we had to do an entire lab report. Like, we're talking, obviously, main page with their headings, abstract, intro, participants, results, discussion, conclusion, references, all of it. That was what I had to do for this unit. These guys, on the other hand, not so much. Their first assignment had nothing to do with the lab report. It was just answer short questions that would then, follow through for the articles. But these guys literally only have to write the discussion. That's it. Just the discussion. Whereas we, like I just said, had to do the entire fucking lab report. Lab reports aren't fun, but since I really think I'd be quite good at research, I have to be good at them. So he's hoping if it's this much easier for these guys, maybe the units I'm going into won't be quite as difficult as before. Fingers crossed, hey? If I get the grades and everything, that's wonderful, hunky-dory, no need to stress. But my colleague said to me something yesterday, which was, if, heaven forbid, he doesn't, because he's ahead of me, get the grades to get into masters, he said, once I worked at the company, we're at the same company for a while, it's really obviously in line with what we're studying, and they take into account things like that. So the fact that I'm tutoring now, which my psychologist has been bugging me about for so freaking long, that will obviously go on my CV and on my application form, as will my job, like my current job, because I'm still technically a volunteer for the peer support online things. I am a paid storyteller. Whoopee! Honestly, I have still got no words to explain how that feels to be, right? Because to me, that's just magic. Manifestation, law of attraction, abundance, magic, it's all wonderful. But I've talked for way longer than I plan to, which, for any of you that watch me, probably are aware that that's what happens. Though the fact that I can speak off the cuff is really, really good for me because, again, yesterday, very first work webinar, online thing with a bunch of people. Anyway, I was doing the vulnerability thing, and I talked about having to use a walking stick at the age of 22 for a number of years because of my conditions and how vulnerable that made me feel. I don't write notes, guys. I just speak like I do. And I can't remember if I said this in the last video or not, but I'm going to say it now just in case I didn't, and if I'm repeating myself, well, it won't be the first time. But I honestly didn't know when I sent through my original work that I'd done for my agenda on vulnerability at work, if it's a strength or a weakness, because I'd written like a page of notes because I wanted to like cover everything because it was our very first one and we were literally given an agenda and told to do something for it and didn't really have any other instructions. And nobody responded to this email that I had done, and it was a really decent amount of work, and you know, the overthinker that I am was like, okay, no one's responded, they obviously have read it, Liv doesn't know what she's doing, and just ignored it. That's how I took it. Wonderful example on overthinking and not checking your facts. My therapist's always telling me to check my facts. Anyway, so when I opened up my script for work, the entire fucking thing I had written and sent through on the email was literally the script for the other facilitator. Now, I'm still confused with facilitators versus storytelling because it does appear like we're all going to have turns. It doesn't really matter on any level except that they get paid differently. And again, I'm not even sure which ones I get paid for and which ones I'm not. Getting paid is fantastic. It is still not the ultimate goal right now, though. Getting the experience, getting what I need to learn, helping others, all of that is my main priority. When I talk about abundance, it's because I know that I'm abundant in the universe. And I know the universe looks after me because I'm putting good, high vibrational love thoughts out into the world. And yeah, but these people's stuff is due on Tuesday, day after my second vax. So I do have to get cracking and keep going because I got 2 people to work on plus my own stuff. Yeah, I've got a whole lot of stuff to do, which is all well and good because I'm up, I'm dressed, breakfast is done, meds are kicking in. Oh, did I even finish the story about my psych? I needed to increase the medication. He called me back last night after hours, super lovely. He was like, how are you doing the meds at the moment? I'm like, I'm taking the Ritalin, they're 10 milligrams each. I take one first thing in the morning when I get up, say 7. I take the second one around about 11 and the third one around about 2:33. And I was like, it's still not enough. Like, that's great, but I'm crashing still. And I said, my workload has just become so much bigger. I need to be able to function for longer. So he asked me, this is weird, this is what's funny with the doctors, like they give you the pills and they give you the instructions, but they don't tell you it's okay to play around and figure it out. Like, he did say I could do that with the times, but then last night on the phone he was like, have you tried taking 2 at once? And I was like, well, no, because we didn't discuss that. I'm like, I could have just started taking 4 without talking to you, but again, I'm new and improved, Liv, trying to do the right thing. So I wanted his permission to tell me it was okay first. And he was like, yeah, it's absolutely fine. He said something about the fact that because of how many I'm currently being prescribed, it means I'm getting a box of 100. He said by taking extra, the box won't last as long, but I'm seeing him in June, so he will increase the level I get from 100 tablets to 200 tablets. But yeah, he was like, how about instead of taking, 1 4 times a day, he's like, first thing in the morning, take 2, which I've done. He said, and then around about, say, 1:30, depending on where I'm at, take the other 2. I would have thought take 2 first thing in the morning and then spread the other 2 out, but he said not to do that. He said try it his way first, so that's what I'm doing. Fingers crossed it works, guys. But not vaping in the evening is actually making a difference. I can feel the difference in the morning. From obviously I'm lethargic and tired and fucking all the bullshit I deal with. And I love weed, and I will 100% keep smoking weed in between all this uni stuff, I guess. But yet, it affects you the following day. It does. Yeah. People that say drugs don't affect them or medication doesn't affect them, I've learned to not say anything. But yeah. Anyway, I think I'm done. It's 20 minutes I've now talked for, guys, so I better go back to what I'm doing. But yeah, have a happy day. Bye.